Welcome everyone to this Omdia Fast Chat video that today is going to explore the digital disruptions businesses are facing and how NTT data is supporting organizations in navigating some of these complexities. My name is Adam Holtby. I'm a principal analyst with Omdia as part of our digital workplace team. I have a very keen research interest in all things service management and workflow digitization. And in this first of a series of 2 NTT Data Fast Chat videos, I'm delighted to be joined today by Abhi Joshi, who's Senior Vice President for Configured Platforms with NTT Data, and Vikram Walecha, who is the Vice President of Digital Transformation Services for NTT Data. Welcome to you both, Abhi and Vikram. How are you doing today?
Great, Adam. Thank you for having us. Excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Adam. Yeah, looking forward.
Excellent. Yeah, really appreciate the time, and I'm looking forward to the insight. So let's kind of dig into the topic at hand. I wanted to start by asking what it is that you're seeing as being the most significant digital challenges that businesses that you engage with, that customers that you interact with, are really kind of facing at the minute. Let's start with you, Abhi.
Yeah, sure, Adam. So no, we've come out. We're actually just coming out of an unprecedented time that we've all seen in our lives, called the COVID pandemic, and that has forced a lot of organizations to do a lot more with a lot less, right? And in doing that, the experience for their customers, for their employees, the resilience of the business in general from a security standpoint, all of these things have been super highlighted, right? So, and the only way they can do that, one of the major ways that can address these issues are through technology. And that's why you use the word digital, which is very apt. So some of the challenges that clients are facing today are, very, very highly customized systems of records, which are, causing disruptions and causing delays and loss of productivity. They're really struggling with cybersecurity and issues around that, and a lot. We've heard so many cases in the news about that. And then again, like I said, the improvement in employee productivity and employee experience and the customer experience are prime challenges that our clients are dealing with today.
Yeah. And just to stress upon what Abhi stated, I mean, economic headwinds exist, and in the wake of some of it, what we are also witnessing is that digital transformation is proving to be a challenging endeavor for many enterprises today. And the same has been evidenced by the 2024 NTT Data Insights and Vision Survey as well that we conducted. 73% of the businesses have achieved less than 50% of their digital transformation goals in the last 2 years. And what we are hearing from our clients, there are 3 common areas which are mostly challenging to our customers. First and foremost is the digital sprawl. There are disparate and siloed systems companies use across every department, and they don't communicate with each other, which ultimately impacts the employee productivity and the experience that's provided to the employees, and then ultimately to the consumers and the customers. And then the rigidity in these systems also constrains the ability of the businesses, essentially the agility that the businesses demand, that's constrained by it. Secondly, it's the operational challenges with customer as well as the company's data. When it's sitting across multiple systems and departments, it's a huge challenge to orchestrate the processes, which is necessary to complete the work. And thirdly, there's business risk as well. With all of this data being passed and forth between the people and the systems, how do you maintain the right level of security and governance? Abhi briefly touched upon it, and mostly it happens because of the siloed nature of the ecosystem of product the clients have invested in. And then how do you make sure you are in compliance with the rules and regulations of the industry or the region you operate in? And then how do you invest in newer requirements such as ESG that impacts your entire ecosystem and the value chain? So these are some of the challenges and constraints we are witnessing as we are helping our clients navigate through the digital transformation imperatives.
Yeah, some really good points. I think not only, I guess, keeping pace with what's new and recognizing those new disruptors that are on the horizon, but then also having that focus on business as usual, right? And to your point, Vikram, ensuring that you're in a suitable position to maintain those operations. So I think you've laid out really well there what some of the challenges are. How is it that you're seeing businesses navigate some of those challenges? And if you can, maybe share some information on the type of progress that they're making in delivering against those challenges too. What is it that you're seeing there, Vikram?
Sure. Sure, Adam. Some of the common themes that we are witnessing across enterprises, firstly, we're looking at modernization and rationalization of the tech estate. It's something that's driven by the CIOs and the CTOs. That's their imperative. Modernization of the apps that are built for the cloud, adoption of low code, no code workflow automation platforms, to build apps fast in response to any kind of market disruptions, right? There is an agility that's demanded. And then the automation platforms, which are highly modern and offer low code, no code capabilities, are coming to fruition, and clients have started to adopt those. Also, we're looking at consolidation of application with enterprise grade systems. Secondly, it's a purposeful automation, right? I briefly touched upon the digital sprawl that's happening. It's absolutely pivotal for the clients to deliver an automated, intelligent system that takes the load and burden of the employees and make them more productive, and then they are able to focus on high value work as opposed to day-to-day mundane activities. Thirdly, we are also witnessing simplification of the experiences as well. Unification of data is essential today. One, it imparts visibility to the enterprises that can drive some actions. But at the same time, when enterprises are able to create an intuitive and intelligent UI that makes it easy for the employees to learn, use, and adapt, that makes them more productive and make them more invested into the organization as well. And then ultimately, you're witnessing everywhere, it's pervasive as well. There is increased spending in strengthening the security posture as well as AI to unlock productivity as well as augment some experience.
Yeah, Abby, is that kind of representative of what you see from your conversations with customers? Are you seeing anything
absolutely.
different?
And I would say, it's all about service management, right? That's a concept that started with IT and all that, and then in today we see it in every aspect of the business, right? What clients, where we go to clients is with a unifying system of action for the myriad of systems and processes and people and customers. How do you tie all that together, automate that, and provide a system of action that can then, at a touch of a button, solve multiple issues and connect with multiple systems without the users or without the enterprise really understanding or needing to know what's going on in the background. I think that is the power of ServiceNow, for example, which is what we take to our clients every day.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that is really one of the areas that customers are focused on when it comes to ServiceNow adoption? Vikram, you mentioned kind of the simplification against that technology estate, how that in turn benefits, I guess, both people and processes and the practices that guide modern work. Is that really where customers are focused when it comes to ServiceNow adoption? What is it that you see from your clients there?
Yeah, so ServiceNow is supporting organization in delivering against variety of strategic imperatives. Most notably, I think Abhi briefly mentioned that one, to augment the automation, reduce the business cost, advance some of the cybersecurity practices, and essentially by making the workflows more efficient. Horizontally, if you look at the historical, the way the platform has adopted as well, it's initially it was catering to the needs of the CIOs, but now it's catering to each of the C-level personas, be it CHRO with the employee workflows, CISOs with some of the security offerings and the governance, compliance, and risk offerings, and then the CXOs as well, which are mostly focused on augmenting the customer experience. But last couple of years, what we've witnessed is verticalization of the ServiceNow solutions, which are mostly industry aligned. And we believe that this industrialization will drive the next phase of growth for ServiceNow, and then ultimately will impart incremental value to our clients. And that's where we are focused on as well from NTT Data perspective. We are extremely bullish about it. We are developing some novel solutions such as smart security management for schools, med divide management, and care management for healthcare life sciences vertical, smart floor, smart factories for manufacturing. And then there's a common theme across the offerings that we are building. It's to infuse intelligence, especially Gen AI, in most of our solutions. And we believe that if it's done right, it will definitely unlock productivity, provide a superior customer as well as employee experience, and then ultimately reduce the tech debt and lower the total cost of ownership for our clients.
Yeah, that's a really good segue, I think, into the final question that I wanted to explore today. You mentioned earlier, Vikram, the 2024 ServiceNow Insights and Vision survey that we recently worked on, and two themes that emerged as being really important as part of this broader service management and ServiceNow conversation were really security and, to your point, all things generative AI. So what is it that you're seeing from customers relating to those two areas, specifically, I guess, in the context of service management? Because both, whether you're talking security or Gen AI, they're impacting the entire enterprise, right? But what are you both seeing from a service management perspective?
Yeah, from security as well as Gen AI, as I stated earlier, I think the platform has expanded beyond the IT services needs. And then since the digitization, there is a lot of focus from our clients to bolster their security posture and make it much more robust. And that's where ServiceNow has penetrated deeply into building some security related workflows within the platform. And the value that's imparting to our clients, since they've already invested into the IT service management, they already have robust CMDB built out. It's single architecture, single data model that we are able to leverage across security, and not just across security, but other domains as well within the enterprises. And that's really providing the required agility and acceleration to our clients, being able to quickly identify, contain, and eradicate the security issues and threats that exist today, and providing in-depth visibility in terms of your risk posture. I think that's really differentiating ServiceNow from its competitors. Also, with intelligence, I think we overuse the term Gen AI, but it's the overall intelligence layer that ServiceNow has built, which is much more, which is beyond Gen AI as well. But it's really helping drive some intelligent conversations with the customers, with the employees through chatbots and virtual agents. It's driving enterprise search as well, which is again AI infused, and then ultimately unlocking some productivity as well with native capabilities such as automated content generation, summarization of the content. And then with the newer Vancouver release, there are capabilities such as text to code and then text to flow that really helps the developers as well to be able to quickly build these workflows. And then as businesses demand newer apps and newer workflows, you are able to, again, with agility, build those. And that's really differentiating ServiceNow.
Yeah, and I guess we spoke about complexities earlier on, and security, Gen AI, complex ideas, complex themes, complex technologies for organizations to get their head around. Are you seeing real appetite, Abby, from organizations in kind of looking to adopt these solutions? Is that what you're seeing from your client engagements? Is it really becoming kind of an investment priority for businesses?
Yeah, it surely is. And, as consultants, our job, Vikram and I, need to be trusted advisors to our clients and help them be successful in the enterprise modernization journey, right? So as a quick example, when we look at processes that are fractured or need improvements or could do better, the capabilities of ServiceNow really help us as consultants to show, not tell, what we can do when we look at a process. You can immediately go leverage Gen AI and create custom apps and leverage the Gen AI and the App Engine capabilities of ServiceNow. By combining them, you can actually, within very little time, show a prototype of what the to-be process could be and the to-be improvements could be. That, to me, is a very, very powerful tool. And kudos to ServiceNow for getting so much progress done in such a little time around Gen AI. But the Gen AI story is, evolving. It is touching a lot more use cases than anyone even ever thought of before this journey began. So very excited to see what's happening there, and we'll definitely be at the cutting edge with our clients and who really want to invest top dollars in helping adopt Gen AI into their organizations.
Perfect. Wow. Yeah, that's really insightful, really interesting stuff. I want to thank you both so much for taking the time out today, Abhi and Vikram. I've really enjoyed the conversation. Some excellent insights shared. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching and giving us your time. There's a link below for some additional resources that you can download that go into some further details around some of the themes that we've explored in the conversation. But other than that, thanks everyone for watching and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, Adam, just one last comment from me. To all the clients out there, we'll be excited to see you at Knowledge in Vegas here pretty soon. And Vikram and I and several other members of the team will be there, and we'll be happy to have conversations with you around digital transformation.
Perfect. Excellent. Thanks, Abhi. Thanks, Vikram. Speak soon.
Thanks, Adam.